Hey guys, welcome to FilmHow. Today we're going to be doing some matte painting, so let's get started. Hey guys, and welcome to my online film teaching program and YouTube channel, FilmHow. I'm your host, Michael Christopher Atkin. Now, this is actually the first ever episode of FilmHow, so I'm really excited. I've been trying to get this up and going for like 2 years now, and there's been a lot of complications. It just hasn't been able to happen. But I'm here now. I'm ready to get going, and I decided that now would finally be the perfect time to start FilmHow because I'm working on Fallout, which is another film that I'm doing. And it's going to be based off the Bethesda Softworks Fallout franchise, and it's going to be based off Fallout 3, not 4, sorry guys. It's going to be set in DC, and it's going to correspond with some of the events that happened in Fallout 3. So I'm really excited, and this FilmHow is going to be following my process of Fallout, and it's going to be showing you what I do wrong, what I do right, and just like a crap load of other stuff, like for example the matte painting I'm going to show you guys in a second, and just stuff like that. And I'm going to try to teach you along the way, and I say try because I know this is going to be really difficult for me, so I'm hoping I do it right, and I'm hoping you guys at least learn a handful of useful things off this show, and don't waste your time here. But anyway, speaking of wasting time, let's get jumping into this matte painting, and yeah, so I'll see you guys there in a second, and yeah, let's get started on this mofo. Alright, hey guys, welcome back. Here we go. We're going to get started. So open up Photoshop. So I already did. And this is what, not exactly what we're going to be creating today, but this is what I'm going to be talking about and stuff. Unlike everybody else on YouTube, I can't just matte paint something in 4 hours and speed it up. It takes me days to do. I have to come up with ideas. I have to meditate for a while. So I can't exactly do a video of me doing this and speeding it up because I just go on for days and days. It doesn't. I think this took me like 4 days to do. It's not a fast process for me, so I can't really do that. But anyway, this is the final product of one of the concept arts I was working on for that. So I'm going to talk to you guys about some of the techniques I used in this that I really think will help you guys out. And I didn't really know about them, and they were just so simple and so stupid that I never really even thought of it. But anyway, we're going to get started. This is what I started out with. So you could see the resemblance between the two. It's really overwhelming, honestly. When I opened this, I was like, oh God, I don't even know where to start. I mean, there's just so much going on and all that. But anyway, so let's make sure you unclick this and keep this always as a background layer just in case. So what you want to do is you want to duplicate this. So what you're going to do for Mac users is Command J. Which you would think it would be Command D for duplicate, but it's not. I don't know why. But anyway, so for example, we want this place to look abandoned, right? Ruined. So we can't have these lights on here. Obviously, the power is going to be out, so why would we have these lights on? So that's where I, with my Photoshop skills, come in. So we're going to do the clone stamp tool. That's this looking tool right here. Not the pattern stamp tool, but the clone stamp tool. So you're going to want to click on that. And I always like to get as close to my things as possible. Just, I don't know. My face is always pressed up against the computer screen too. I always just like doing that. So here's what we're going to do. Now you're going to want to click Option. That'll bring up an option for the clone stamp tool where you're taking information from a different part of the picture and putting it somewhere else. So what I'm doing is I'm going to do that to the top here and just layer it on the bottom. That's literally it. See, and it may look kind of weird now, and there's kind of like a green tint. So what you can do is zoom in more because I am like doing that and I'm weird. And what I do is I always option this. Kind of really get in there. Just, there you go. Just kind of work around it a little bit, you know. And now you're gonna wanna do that on this side. And you kind of already picked your place, and it'll follow you as you go, so you don't really have to pick your place again, depending on what you're doing. For right now, I actually don't have to until I go to the bottom here. Then I'll have to switch it up and figure out how I'm going to do this. So I'll do it like a little bit lower than it actually is. Right here. And then that's the little pole. See, so it kind of starts out a little weird, but we fix it. We fix it. So I'm not going to go through all the street lamps, but that's just an example of how you can totally turn off the lamp. It may look kind of weird to you. It looks fine to me, but when you zoom out, it totally looks fine. There's nothing wrong with it. And there is these little spots right here that may be a little bothersome to you guys. This little kind of thing right here. So you can actually do, I actually really like this idea. I didn't think of this before, but somebody brought this to my attention. You can go to the brush tool, and this is black, so all you got to do is actually you can even do a tool where it takes the color from what you're working on and applies it. And I think that's option. See? It brings up this little eyedrop tool, so click on option, and you actually can brush it on everywhere. So I went a little bit out of the box here, so I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. Use the eyebrush tool, and it totally blends everything in. I think this is really cool, and I found it very useful. I used it for a ton of things on this matte painting alone. And once I figured that out, it really broadened my horizons. So you can actually literally paint on. That's the whole reason it's called a matte painting, is so you can paint on. You may not always think of it like quite literally, but yeah. And so, for example, the reflection on the top is the same as the bottom here. So what we can do is we can work that so it's a little bit different. It seems to get a little bit smaller down here, so it's going to get a little bit smaller even as further we go down. Now, I don't know about you, but that totally looks untouched to me. That looks completely fine. Alright, and then it may look a little red right here. So what we can do is we can actually, let's make another layer. And you want to make sure to name these layers, because I sometimes I don't, and it gets really out of hand. I think on my matte painting, I had over 100 layers, and none of them are really named. Oh my god, it's a nightmare. It's really a nightmare. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to option this, and I'm just going to splash it right onto here. And then I'm going to make the opacity really low. Let's do a little bit more. So you don't want it to glow like the other one is, but you just want to like little difference. That looks fine to me. Alright, so now we're going to go on to another thing. Breaking windows. All these windows are perfectly fine. If there was really apocalypse or something happened where a building needed to fall over, like it did right here, there's going to be some broken windows. And if you zoom in right here, you can see that I actually have broken windows. So, if you haven't figured it out already, it's the same concept. You literally just paint the windows broken. Which I thought this was kind of a cool idea. So I'm going to make another layer right here. And I think this is a street light also. So I'm going to do street light. You could say even one light, like the actual light. But you would use these same layers probably to work on all of them. But I'm just working on one. So I'm going to go here, call it Windows. We're literally going to go do black. You don't have to color match or anything, but you just do black and you go really small. And you get really close up to these windows. Not that close. You don't want to see the pixels. That's really annoying. But anyway, and you literally just paint it. It's so stupid that no one would even think of it. Or obviously people have, that's why they do it. But I didn't think of it. So now I'm sitting here like, oh wow. You know, like, I could have done this so long ago, and this could have helped me in so many situations, but I just now figuring it out. So this is just an example. You could do some broken windows. You could do completely whole open windows, or you can make it look broken, like I did with the one I was doing right before this one right here. So we got to work it. Stuff like that. See? Look at that. Now is completely broken. And you just keep doing that and you just keep repeating it, and it makes the whole building look completely destroyed. So let's move on to the next thing. I'm not going to do everything because you don't need to see me do broken windows 500 times. You get the concept by now. So what I would imagine is let's do the water now. Now the water is literally just a reflection of what we have on the top here. So we go to, we can call it the OG layer, and that's just the layer copy or whatever, which would be this light, the street light again. So let's figure out how we can make some water down here, because it really creates a cool effect if you're trying to like destroy a city or whatever, and you kind of want like a little swampy kind of vibe, like this one right here. You kind of want it to be swampy and stuff. This is a cool way to do it. You want to apply it to the OG layer, but see what the problem with that is. Here, let's turn all these off for a second. This is the layer that we were doing. So if you're creating a layer where you want to create a swampy kind of vibe down here, you can't do that because the lights are on, there's no destroyed windows and stuff. So you kind of want to do the swampy part last. So what you can do for that part is you can go over to Windows, or actually you can just click on all these because I will need all these, and you can do merged layers, and that makes it all one singular layer. Now, like I said again, you might want to do this last. I think I did it last. I'm not sure. Oh no, I didn't do it last, and what I ended up having to do is I had to go back and like destroy the windows again or whatever in the reflection, which I was completely fine with. I'm not really in a hurry when it comes to these. So I did that, and now we're going to flip it. So, you guys see where I'm getting with this? Let's make this look the same here. Maybe a little too stretched. Oh, wait, what am I doing? I could just... There we go. Alright. So, put that in there. And apply. There you go. But now what? You got a whole thing down here, and you don't want all this to be, quote, water. Obviously, it doesn't look like it because there's a huge line going through. So, what you're going to want to do is grab the brush tool and make sure you're on this part of the layer, not on this, because this is completely something else. So go to here, and what the brush tool will do is it'll actually kind of act like as an eraser, but everything's still there. So what it's going to do is it's going to get rid of this stuff, but you see how I can actually make the layer before come back by doing that? So this is how you add the layer back. If you press X, you can brush the layer back away, and it'll always still be there. I can still brush it right back. So I think that's kind of cool, really cool. I probably use this tool the most in whatever I do. It doesn't even matter what I do. I'm always using it. So what I'm doing right now is I'm brushing over here because I was an idiot showing you how to do that. So I'm making sure that everything's gone over here so there's no smudges. But anyway, so like before, what I did is I kind of did it around this center council type of thing. I don't really know what to call it. So what we'll do is we will do that. You see how it's starting to look like a swamp here? It's all falling into place. So, or whoops, this is the wrong one. This is not what I wanted. So let's say the water is kind of lining up with what's going on here. Let's take that brush away. And to take away your brushes, like if you made a mistake, you can actually go and click on this little arrow right here. It'll bring up your history, and it goes back like 100 spaces, or not spaces, but 100 moves. So if I decide, oh, this is all crap, I can go back to whatever it was before. So for those of you who want to know. And I actually kind of like this over here, not really hugging this side. So, let's say you get this done, and you decide, oh, I want it to show the, kind of like, I want it to show the lines underneath. It's really, all you have to do is bring it up to like 75%. Because you have to remember, water isn't that reflective, like, especially a swampy setting, like, it's going to be dirty and stuff. So, it's not going to be that reflective. It's not going to literally do that. So what we want to do is we want to bring down the opacity, and we want to dirty up the water. So I actually have this right here. This looks like it would be perfect, this color. Let's try this color. Why not? Let's make a new layer. Go to brush. The brush is fine. We'll make it a little bit bigger. And I have my brush on this one, by the way, the first one, soft round. I don't use a hard round hardly ever. And yeah, so what you want to do is kind of like brush. See what I'm doing? I'm going over this. And you might be thinking, why the hell is he doing that? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to brush this, and then I'm going to bring down the opacity. So it looks like dirt. It looks like there's stuff in the water here. It doesn't look like clean, water. This isn't going to be straight from the oasis. Perfect. So, I think last time I brought it down to like 20. You see how it dirties up the water? It just looks nasty. You keep working with that. It just doesn't look right. And it's not supposed to look right, in my painting, of course, because it's supposed to be radiation. It's not supposed to be a really nice area. You get a very strong vibe here that things are not what they're supposed to be. So, this kind of like makes it look dirty. I'll take away the layer if you guys want to see it. And you can mess with different colors. I mean, this isn't the only color. I just kind of clicked on it because it's convenient. And seemed to be about right what I would have done. But anyway, like that's that. You can make it totally clean if you want to. And I bring the opacity down anyway because it kind of shows what's under there. You see the lines from the street, and you kind of see like the asphalt textures in there a little bit, which in real life you would, if it's that clear, you'd get a lot of reflection, but you'd also be able to see kind of what's under there. So that's how you make swampy kind of settings, which I found that very useful. Let's see here. Let's see what we can do now. Oh, what's kind of cool is I destroyed the street light right here. You're kind of like, well, how'd you do that? So it's kind of like the same thing with the swamp, actually, in the sense that I had to move around a part of the thing. I'll show you guys. But anyway, what I'm getting reminded of right here, zooming in, is all the letters were reversed. So whoever took this picture reversed it for whatever reason. And I could have just reversed it back. I could have made this side, and I would have totally got rid of that. I didn't want to do that, though. I liked where the picture was. I didn't want to switch it around, and that's what this person did. That's why this is switched around. He liked how the layout was this way, or whatever. So what I actually did is I went in, and I fixed all the lettering. You would see it on that building if those leaves weren't in the way, but you can see it right here. Same lettering. It's just reversed back into normal, and I think I did it to a couple of different places around here. But that's beside the point. What we're going to do is we're going to mess up this light pole. So what we're going to do is we are going to go back to this little guy over here, and we are going to Command J. Don't forget that. And let's just label it right now as a street. I don't know what I don't remember what these are called. Just a street light post. I don't know. Swamp. I'm terrible at labeling my stuff, by the way. Swamp. Dirt. There you go. Alright, so let's go back to this. We're going to do the same thing we did before with the quick selection tool or the crop tool or whatever. I didn't do that right. Forgot that this thing kind of goes up a little bit. Still not. I'm just challenged here. Okay, so we have a selection I think we're going to go with that. Let's do that. Layer, layer mask, and reveal selection. Some people say you should go to smart objects and say convert to smart object and then go to layer mask and then reveal selection. But sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't, but I've never noticed a difference whatsoever. So I just go to reveal selection most of the time. And we can move this around and you see it's still there. So now what we have to do is let's actually get rid of this layer as far as just disable it with the eye. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to duplicate, or Command J, make another one of those, and I don't even know, I'm not even going to try to name it. We go back to our friend, the clone stamp tool, and I call him my friend because he really is my friend. He fucking helps me through everything. You got my back, man. Oh, what we could do is, oftentimes I'll go to the corner, because that's kind of like the... See what I'm doing right here? Is I'm erasing this lamppost from the area so we can move it to somewhere else. Because this lamppost can't still be sitting here. You know what I'm saying? Which, what I find this building kind of weird as, is it just like, it's all of a sudden here, it's like, it's kind of like this type of building, and then all of a sudden it switches over to this window kind of thing. I don't know if it's the reflection or what. It's just weird. I don't know. I don't really like it that much. So, but that's that. And if you don't let go, if you're cloning something and you don't let go and you just keep going, it'll start cloning what you had already erased before. So you have to remember to let go, and then, so if you're having a problem with that where it's just like cloning what you're like trying to get rid of and you're just like, what? See, there we go. This part is all taken care of. And this one's going to be a little bit more complicated. We have to get a little bit closer here because this isn't a pattern. This is just its own thing. We were lucky here where we had a pattern. There was something we could follow and take from somewhere else. So what we have to do, we're kind of architectures in our own way. We're going to rebuild this little area. Let's see if we can get rid of the rest of this first and then see what our options are. Oops. Like I said, we're an architecture in our own way. So what looks natural to me is the building kind of goes here, but it doesn't really, I don't really know why it has this thing up here. So what I'm thinking about doing right now is I'm thinking about just deleting that entirely and kind of just rolling with this kind of design right here. So I'm going to try that out. Let's see how this looks. And what you'll notice as you zoom into these pictures and stuff, there's kind of like weird colors that are like unexplainable. And I think that's just like the camera that they shot on. I don't know. That's just what I think. But in this specific photo, I found quite a few colors that didn't really make any sense to me. They're just sitting there like, there's some purple right here. I don't know if you guys will be able to see with the YouTube compression. Probably not. But there's just some weird stuff going on. But anyway. Now that looks a lot more natural to me. So now we're going to have to shift this over. We may want to go a little bit smaller just to kind of get this more precise. If you click somewhere, hold down Shift and then click somewhere else, it like goes in like a perfect line. I found that to be quite useful. Quite useful. I use that quite often. So like I said, we're architectures in our own way, kind of, because we're literally completely reconstructing this building. Like it didn't really look like that before. So I think that's kind of cool. Sorry I bounced around a little bit. I'm trying different things. I haven't worked on this map painting for like a month. So. Not liking that. There we go. Looks a lot more natural to me. There we go. Alright, so to me that looks like a completely normal building. If I were to look at a picture of that, this zoomed up, I would think nothing of it, let alone zoomed way out here. That looks okay to me. That doesn't look too bad. Now, I'm pretty sure that's not the decision I made before, but whatever. So, now that leads us back to the street lamp post. And some of these things might be an eyesore to you. This might look weird because this isn't the original building you start out with. I don't remember what I did for this building. Let's just take a look real quick. Okay, so I ended up duplicating the top of here. Now that looks completely odd and doesn't look good at all, looking back on it. But you wouldn't even know that. You're just looking at the painting. But it's such an eyesore now because it's your work and you know that that's not what it originally was. So looking at that, that may be an eyesore to you because you might be like, oh my god, that's not what it originally was. Now it looks fine to me. So I'm going to go with that. Here's a street lamp post. So now we got a street lamp post that we need to take from the same position that it was at before and just destroy it, basically. So, what I kind of want to do before that is I would reverse the letters, which I could show you guys how to do, I guess, if you want to know. So what we'll do is we'll duplicate this, Command J, put in the words, wrong one. I'm all over the place here, guys. Yeah, it's really going to do that to me? Yeah, it's going to want me to transform the whole thing. I hate when that happens. I don't know how to prevent this. If you guys know how to prevent this, that'd be great. It like connects to like the whole picture instead of the mark that I made, which is really frustrating. But anyway, I think that's it. Totally reversed. So apply. Bring it back over here. Obviously, it's not in the same kind of like, not angle, kind of angle, but you're going to have to skew it. So we go to skew, which is going to be way out here again. Keep forgetting. That's so stupid. I hate that. Alright, so let's see how it's starting to look very similar. Almost. Almost. I think that's about right. Yeah, that looks good to me. Alright, so apply. And we're going to do our fancy brush tool that we love so much. So we're going to go to that. Make sure you're on the black part. Alright, there we go. And actually what I'm going to do, actually, you know what, let's go back over here. Let's just layer it right over. I think this is probably about, I don't know. But anyway, we're going to take this and just erase the whole layer. Just so we don't have any bullshit. So I kind of put it over here, so let's see what happens. Just open up this little area. The less bulk, the better, because then you can match it up quicker, and then you can refine the edges later on. But I just get rid of that bulk. Okay, so now we're sitting here. And now you're noticing, oh, okay, well the skew isn't really matching up. So what we can do is we can skew it more if we want. We can skew it more if we want. That looks pretty close to me. Oh, we may have skewed it a little too much. That's right. That looks okay to me. Apply. Zoom in here. You see where we're getting at with this? Just place it right over. Go around with the brush tool. Find the edges. Make sure it's all good. This is a great moment to use the whole shift. Do that thing, and then you could switch it. Make sure it's filled in from here to there too. Okay, so noticing a little bit of stuff up here. It's always good to switch it on and off and see if any smudges come up, kind of like weird things that like you don't like. See how it's like kind of straight? So we might want to skew it a little bit more to be straight with the zoom in. Oh, it's so close here. It's so close. Just a tiny, just a tad. There we go. It's good to me. Apply. There we go. So now we're going to take words and street light post and we're going to merge it. There's no longer any reverse lettering right there. And that applies right here too. You can use it on this building also, which it ended up being covered in my thing. So all that work I put into that was really for nothing. So, there we go. Now we're going to take our words, copy, and we're just going to do, so it was already where we needed it to be. Okay, edit, transform, rotate, see if we like that. I like that. Maybe a little too much, I don't know. Alright, so now we don't have the black area that we had before. So what we're going to want to do is go over to layer, or no, sorry. We can go over to the quick selection tool and just kind of like make like a bullshit selection. Just like all over the place, and then just select the whole thing. And then from there, we can go over to layer, layer mask, reveal selection. So now we have the black area back over here. Go over to the brush tool, and we just kind of get all the excess crap off of here. You see where it's going to end up here. It's going to end up me brushing away everything, and the lamppost will be sitting here. So I'm not going to do this whole thing because you guys get this concept by now. So I'm just going to brush everything away, and I'm going to do a really rough, crappy brush probably. Just a real quick some, because I want to jump into something else right here. Ah! It's okay, you press X, you get your stuff back. It's never deleted, like with the erase tool. Never use the erase tool. Unless it makes like sense on what you're doing, but if you're doing stuff like this, don't use the erase tool. if you're working with actual paint, that's like the only reason you use the erase tool, which is what we did on the buildings with the broken windows. All right, so I really roughly did that, and you can see how now it looks broken. Well, if you look back at mine, I kind of have these cords running down. Same concept as the windows, which totally helped me out a lot. You literally just go to black, bring it right on down, and just draw it in, which it's not going in, because we need to make a new layer. Put it on top. Okay, and then just cords for days. This one's brown. I thought I put it to black. I did, but it switched back over. So it'd probably attach up here or whatever, and you literally just have the cords running down. Now this, at first glance, this looks a little thick. Oh yeah, it's totally thick. So what I would do is just go back, try a little bit smaller, because at first glance you're looking at that pen tool and you're like, oh wow, that looks really small, I think that's fine, and then it ends up drawing like super big. So a lot of matte painting is just like trial and error or whatever. I'm just doing quick scribbles down like, oh, these are chords, whatever. But that's how literally the chord look. That look familiar? Now a chord wouldn't look like that if it were dripping down. But I had it attached. Where did I have it attached on this one? I just had them both attached here, and you can actually see I even bundled it up and like had it like flying, like coming out and stuff, which you wouldn't even notice unless you zoomed in on it. Like I even forgot about I did that until then. But yeah, so just using the paint tools to your advantage. Personally, looking at this Photoshop and just like opening it up and working with stuff lately, I'm just kind of like, when would I use the paint tool? Like it never really dawned on me that using the paint tool in an actual photo would be any help. Well, it ends up actually being a lot of help. And for those of you wondering how to destroy the building right here, like I have it on here and stuff, it's the same concept. And it's the same concept as a swamp. It's the same concept as moving the lamppost. You just make a selection tool, you move it around a bit and stuff like that. And for those of you wondering how I got it to break up like that and look so good, it's the same concept as the windows, same concept as the cord. I just brushed it in. I just brushed in the cracks, and I put the opacity down to like 20% or whatever. And that's what it was. It just looked like a shaded area, or like a little, like it looks like a crack. Stuff like that. I mean, it's all very simple, and yet there's these techniques that you don't really know about or that you just can't pick up. Stuff like that, you know. You find foliage online. It's really hard. I probably spent like a solid day just looking for these different bushes and stuff like that. I looked up stuff like what did I look up? I looked stuff up like let's go over to images here. I think I did like foliage PNG. You always want to throw PNG in there because then it has no background, and you don't want to mess with plants and them have a background. It's just like there's a certain way of doing it. I don't really know, but you can get rid of the background for plants. I tried to look at this video where it explained it to me, but it didn't really make any sense. So if I ever figure that out, I'll show you guys. But what I do is I just look up plant PNG, foliage PNG, vine PNG, stuff like that. And after flipping through miles and miles of just crap, stuff like this is good, but it has a background, so I couldn't use it. You know, you have to just look and look, and eventually you'll find stuff, and you'll fit it in, you'll work it, stuff like that. It's just a lot of brushing. The brush tool is your biggest friend, and the clone tool. The clone tool and the brush tool you're going to use the most. I use other tools, but not as much. Like the quick selection tool I use a lot. Yeah, but these are all your best friends right here. But yeah, thank you for watching. I think that's pretty much it. Sorry I bounced around a lot. This is my first video. I haven't worked on this matte painting in like a month. But trying to explain it the best I can. I hope some of that information helps you guys out. And yeah, this is Michael Christopher Atkins logging off. See you guys later.